Okay, so now we have our stories, we have our short list. What's next? Well, we have to get the vendors to prove that they're the best fit for us. Hopefully we have a short list of vendors of all of which are perfectly viable options, but let's suss it out. So what we want to do during the ideation phase is create a series of demonstrations where the vendors actually show you how their products meet your needs. Not how they meet their other clients' needs, but how they meet your needs. Anyone ever sat in vendor demos? Vendor demo week? This is what I do for a living. That's me. No, I'm kidding, it's not me. But the key to avoiding this situation where everyone's asleep that I've seen is how can we make those demonstrations as real as possible and as relevant as possible to your selection team. The worst thing that you can do is leave the vendor to their own devices and allow them to come in and give the same canned demonstration that they give everyone else. Because you know what? It's going to look slick and it's going to look good and it's going to work every time. And you just wasted all these people's time in that meeting across the week. And guess what? That's a pretty expensive week if you add that up, right? So instead, I want you to make them as real as you possibly can. So I think it goes without saying, you want to make sure your team is represented at every single demonstration over the course of demo week. But here's where you want to really prescribe to these vendors how they should use their time during their demos. Don't let them come in and tell you what they're going to do. Say, I want you to come in and give really short time box, 15 minutes for introductions. Give me a quick overview of your company because you know what? We already did our due diligence in making sure we had the right shortlisted vendors on the list. We already know your background. Spend the bulk of the time with us showing us our scenarios. So again, no canned demos, demo the scenarios that you wrote. And then you force the vendors to come in and give the same scenarios in the same order, day by day by day, so that you're able to truly compare apples to apples to apples. It sounds so basic, but I can tell you so few organizations do this and force the vendors to stick to this model. But those that do, it's such a much better use of your time. And you know, as you go through this process, after you see day one, it's really interesting. But day two, at the end of day two, you're able to say, well, which one do we like better? And then by day three, you're saying, okay, we have either a clear leader or at least some clear finalists. And this is your opportunity to not just let this be a one-way flow of information from the vendor to you. I really encourage you to make these demo days as interactive as you can. So I want you to during this period, ask the tough questions around pricing. We often sit on these for our clients and say, we're saying, well, that module wasn't in your proposal. You know, don't try to slide that in there. Or we challenge the vendors to really tell us how much effort it took to get their product to jump through some hoops. My colleague Tony likes to say, vendors don't always lie, but they don't tell you how much time, money, and ibuprofen it took to get their products to do what you were asking them to do. And that's what you really want to suss out. In today's technology, you can get technology to do anything for you, but as close as you can get it out of the box, the better off you're going to be.